America.
Only in America.
Only in America.
Only in America.
Only America.
Only in America.
This week, the grassroots effort helping Afghan evacuees resettle in communities across the United States.
This will be the first time in a long time that families have a comfortable place to set themselves down, put their heads on a pillow that was set for them, with them in mind, eat food that tastes like home, that was made by members of their new community.
From the National Immigration Forum, I'm Ali Noorani, and this is Only in America. These past few weeks, we've been giving you an in-depth look at some of the amazing efforts going on across the country to help Afghan evacuees. And in this episode, we're going to keep it local and highlight two groups that have been working for weeks to help individuals and families who have come to the U.S. Through both digital and in-person efforts, KindWorks in Bethesda, Maryland, and Refugee Services of Texas in Dallas have helped dozens of individuals from Afghanistan resettle. And they're preparing to help thousands more in the weeks and months ahead. Refugee Services of Texas has been working for about 40 years to help those displaced from their home country find a new start in Texas. Their executive director, Russell Smith, told me that in spite of the difficulties of the last few years, as refugee resettlement numbers have dropped, they continue to see enormous support from the broader community.
We were already kind of having these discussions, knowing that resettlement was kind of coming back around, right? So, and before my time, our high water mark was 2016, where we resettled about 2,500 in all of our sites, and so we've kept busy, even though resettlement became a much smaller part of what we did every year. And we've been continuing to kind of hang in there, providing services to displaced populations. We knew that we would ramp up, but the whole Afghan situation has just made it quicker and more intense. But it's, our communities are really stepping up. We have really great partners. We've got really great funders. We've got, church groups and individuals.
And at KindWorks in Bethesda, Maryland, they've done a little bit of everything to help those in their community, as Debra Lang, their executive director, shared.
Organizationally, our budget and our staffing is tiny, but our impact and our participation is really quite large at this point. On any given day, we might have a couple of things going on that are led by volunteers at this point. Shelter dinners that are delivered at this point during COVID, birthday parties that are delivered to shelters, area cleanups outside, people working for the food consolidation hubs, either packing bags and boxes of food or making home deliveries in their cars. So we've got a lot going on that doesn't come with intuition from the size of our budget and our staff. It's just a ton of fun to bring diverse people together to help out in community.
But both KindWorks and Refugee Services of Texas saw the writing on the wall early on. The evacuation from Afghanistan would be a tough and long road for those coming to new communities.
Well, for us particularly, like everyone, we were horrified and excited at the possibility to help people who have been through such pressure. But for us particularly, we halted our home setups during COVID because we bring people together, diverse groups together. We don't have a small group of people that had been a pod to do these during the course of the pandemic. So we had really put those projects on hold, and watching the fall of Afghanistan happen just quickly made us come to terms with, we have to find a way to do home setups, even during what is still a pandemic.
Russell pointed out that meeting families at the airport is an important first step of welcoming newcomers.
Very excited. I can tell you, it's amazing. They're delighted, but they're also exhausted. So typically, when we're getting a family that is a refugee family, they have traveled for, 2 days. They've gone, airport to airport. They've been, sleeping in airports and on airlines, and they come down with one bag of stuff. They have maybe a tiny bit of luggage. They are so delighted to kind of and a little bit maybe not frightened, but just kind of curious about kind of what's next, right? So there's a group of people that has a sign in their language saying welcome. Hopefully, if they have family ties here or there are people that they know, that there'll be somebody that they'll recognize as they come down the escalator in the Austin airport or whatever city they're coming from. And so we'll have, if it's not a family member or somebody from their community, we'll have a translator there if they don't have English skills. And so they are, ready for a new life. You're picking up from your life and moving all the way across the world to this, interesting place that is Texas.
And KindWorks has been instrumental in helping get families set up in the Washington metro area.
As soon as we have a family that we are going to help resettle, we know the ages and genders of the participants, and we put up a sign-up sheet. And that includes everything from soup to nuts, beds and dining room table with enough chairs and place settings, dishes, glasses, everything that we could need, sheets, towels, blankets for that particular family. And we have a drop-off day and time. And along with that drop-off is an ability to come in and help. Not for everyone because it's too crowded for COVID, but for quite a few people to come in and while being safe, helping to set up this apartment so that the family feels the community hug that is that apartment setup. We work along with the resettlement agency in terms of getting that family's information and the apartment access, and also with a couple other nonprofits that have a storage facility, that have some trucking ability, and that do some follow-up work with families afterwards. So it's a really nice community that works very well together to support these families.
By running lean organizations that depend on volunteers, both Russell and Debra say it's a balancing process to ensure that families' needs are being met safely. But the outpouring support from volunteers has made everything possible.
We don't want to put a lot of money and time into touching each piece of furniture and storing it and marking it into an inventory. So all we're going to do is ask each week for volunteers and stuff. Who's got a couch this week and who's got a, dining room table this week. But we're doing that with our eyes wide open, that we don't want to spend many touches on each piece of furniture available. And luckily, our community has an abundance of things. So we're gonna do it that way. And people in our community can pick what works for them. But there's enough stuff that we're gonna just keep on putting together signups as they come up.
Guidance on here's how you help, here's how you volunteer, here's how you make our communities more welcoming. People have really, really responded. And we've really seen that in the last few months with the Afghans coming in. It's a very, very, targeted view of how our communities really step up to these types of challenges. And that, the vast majority of people are looking for ways to do good and to help and to welcome people who are, displaced and, just looking for a safe place to raise their family.
One way that KindWorks not only helps families, but engages and educates the broader community is through Soup for the Soul. In fact, we're going to hear more about Soup for the Soul in a coming episode.
We're cooking Kind Soup's Afghan edition, and that's by or with Afghan chefs, Afghan recipes, and, we're making a special avenue for donating those kind soups to Afghan families. So that can also be done absolutely anywhere. We've got somebody who signed on from Grenada a couple of months ago, and I've got another Spain person signing on next Monday. We've got someone who's been cooking in New York City and delivering to the free open refrigerators that are peppered around most big cities now, where people who are hungry can go and get some food. So those are ways that people can take what we've made happen in the DMV and do it absolutely anywhere. And we just love to see that.
In the next 6 months, Refugee Services of Texas expects to help about 1,400 Afghans. And KindWorks says that they expect about 1,000 new families in the next few months in the Washington metropolitan area. For both groups, it's been exciting to see how their communities step up in a big way for their new neighbors.
This will be the first time in a long time that families have a comfortable place to set themselves down, put their heads on a pillow that was made with them in mind, that's set for them with them in mind, eat food that tastes like home, that was made by members of their new community.
And there's, wildfires and earthquakes, and there's a lot of things out there that I don't feel like the agency to do much about. But when the Afghan situation came up, I'm like, you know what? We have the expertise, the skill set, the experience. We can do this. We can help with this. So I feel really excited about being able to make a difference on a local level, a state level, in helping to solve one of those problems that you see on the news. Even though I'm not going to solve COVID, I can help get Afghanis new homes and integrate into communities.
Russell Smith is CEO of Refugee Services of Texas, and Debra Lang is Executive Director of KindWorks. You can find more about both organizations at our website, immigrationforum.org/podcast. And if you like what you hear, subscribe to Only in America wherever you are listening to this episode. Only in America is produced and edited by Katie Lutz, Joanna Taylor, and Becca Wall. Our artwork and graphics are designed by Carla Leja. I'm Ali Narani, and I will talk to you next week.
Support for the National Immigration Forum comes from the Carnegie Corporation of New York, supporting innovations in education, democratic engagement, and strengthening international peace and security. And from Humanity United. When humanity is united, we can bring a powerful force for human dignity.